There's something exciting about watching queer women solve crimes, chase killers, survive dangerous secrets, or become the masterminds themselves. From detective mysteries to psychological thrillers and supernatural dramas, these series combine suspense, emotion, and unforgettable sapphic relationships. Here are 15 addictive lesbian crime series every fan of queer thrillers should watch. Mayor of Easttown, 2021. This emotional crime drama follows Detective Mayor Sheehan, a troubled investigator trying to solve the murder of a teenage girl in a small Pennsylvania town. At the same time, she struggles with grief, family pressure, and painful memories from her past. One of the strongest parts of the series is Mayor's daughter, Siobhan, a young lesbian navigating relationships and life in a conservative town. Her story feels natural, realistic, and deeply human instead of forced or stereotypical. The mystery keeps you hooked from beginning to end, but it's the emotional storytelling and incredible performances that make this series unforgettable. Why you should watch. A gripping murder mystery mixed with powerful family drama and authentic queer representation. The Wire, 2002 to 2008. Often called one of the greatest TV shows ever made, The Wire explores crime, corruption, politics, and survival in Baltimore. Detective Kima Greggs stands out as one of television's most memorable lesbian characters. She's tough, intelligent, flawed, and realistic. Her sexuality is important to her character, but it never becomes the only thing that defines her. The show dives deep into the failures of institutions like the police, schools, and government, while telling emotionally powerful stories about real people trying to survive difficult systems. Why you should watch. A masterpiece crime drama with one of the best queer female characters ever written. Scott and Bailey, 2011 to 2016. This British detective drama follows two female detectives working in Manchester's major crime division. The show focuses heavily on friendship, workplace struggles, relationships, and intense murder investigations. While the lesbian content is more subtle compared to other shows on this list, the series still explores bisexuality and complex female relationships in a thoughtful way. Unlike flashy crime dramas, this one feels grounded and realistic, which makes the emotional moments hit even harder. Why you should watch. Smart writing, strong female leads, and realistic detective work. The Bletchley Circle, 2012 to 2014. Set after World War II, this brilliant mystery series follows four former codebreakers from Bletchley Park who secretly work together to solve murders. The show focuses on intelligent women using logic and teamwork in a society that constantly underestimates them. While the lesbian themes are mostly subtle and implied, many viewers connected strongly with the emotional tension between certain characters. It's stylish, suspenseful, and different from modern crime dramas. Why you should watch. A clever historical mystery with powerful female energy and sapphic undertones. Top of the Lake, China Girl, 2017. This dark and emotional detective thriller follows Detective Robin Griffin as she investigates the death of a young Asian woman found on a Sydney beach. At the center of the story is Robin's complicated relationship with her daughter Mary, who is involved in a same-sex relationship that becomes increasingly intense and troubling. The series explores trauma, exploitation, power, and identity in a very raw way. It's not always easy to watch, but it's beautifully made and emotionally powerful. Why you should watch. A slow-burning feminist crime thriller with stunning cinematography and complex queer themes. Killing Eve, 2018 to 2022. This iconic thriller follows intelligence investigator Eve Polastri and Villanelle, a stylish and dangerously unpredictable assassin. What starts as a deadly cat-and-mouse chase slowly transforms into one of television's most intense queer obsessions. The chemistry between Eve and Villanelle is electric, chaotic, funny, romantic, and terrifying all at once. Jodie Comer's performance as Villanelle became legendary for a reason. Why you should watch. Stylish, addictive, funny, violent, and packed with unforgettable sapphic tension. Special Ops, Lioness, 2023. This action-packed espionage thriller follows Cruz Manuelos, a Marine recruited into a dangerous undercover CIA program. Her mission is to get close to Aaliyah, the daughter of a suspected terrorist financier. But as their relationship grows deeper, Cruz starts developing real feelings, making her mission emotionally dangerous. The show blends military action with emotional conflict surprisingly well. Why you should watch? Intense undercover missions mixed with emotional queer romance. The Fall, 2013 to 2016. Gillian Anderson plays Stella Gibson, a brilliant detective hunting a serial killer in Belfast. Unlike most detective shows, the killer's identity is revealed early. The suspense comes from the psychological battle between hunter and hunted. Stella's bisexuality is portrayed confidently and naturally, making her one of the most compelling queer investigators on television. Why you should watch? A chilling psychological thriller with incredible performances and sharp writing. First Kill, 2022. This supernatural thriller follows Juliet, a teenage vampire preparing for her first kill, and Calliope, a monster hunter sent to destroy creatures like her. The problem? They fall in love. Even though the show only lasted one season, it gained a huge fan base because of its openly lesbian romance, supernatural drama, and emotional chemistry. Motherland, Fort Salem, 2020 to 2022. In an alternate version of America where witches serve in the military, this series follows young women training to fight supernatural threats. The relationship between Riel and Scylla became one of the show's biggest highlights. Their romance is emotional, messy, passionate, and central to the story. The series mixes military drama, politics, fantasy, and thriller elements in a very unique way. Why you should watch? Powerful queer romance combined with magic, war, and suspense. Wynonna Earp, 2016 to 2021. This supernatural western follows demon hunter Wynonna Earp as she battles cursed outlaws and dark creatures. But for many fans, the emotional heart of the series is the relationship between Nicole Haught and Waverly Earp, one of the most loved lesbian couples in TV history. The show balances horror, humor, action, and romance incredibly well. Why you should watch? A wildly entertaining supernatural crime series with an iconic queer love story. Person of Interest, 2011 to 2016. This sci-fi crime thriller follows a former CIA agent and a billionaire programmer using artificial intelligence to stop violent crimes before they happen. As the story progresses, the relationship between Root and Shaw evolves from rivalry to one of television's most beloved queer romances. The series combines action, emotional storytelling, and fascinating discussions about surveillance and technology. Why you should watch? A smart, emotional crime thriller with one of the best slow-burn, sapphic relationships ever written. Dead to Me, 2019 to 2022. This dark comedy crime drama follows Jen and Judy, two grieving women connected by shocking secrets. As the story unfolds, lies, guilt, murder, and emotional trauma slowly destroy and strengthen their friendship. Judy's bisexuality becomes an important part of her emotional journey, especially during her relationship with Michelle. Nancy Drew, 2019 to 2023. This modern version of the classic detective story mixes mystery, supernatural horror, and teen drama. Bess Marvin openly explores lesbian relationships throughout the series, and her sexuality is treated as a natural part of her life rather than a dramatic issue. The mysteries are entertaining, but the friendships and character relationships are what keep viewers invested. Why you should watch? A fun supernatural mystery series with lovable queer characters. Orange is the New Black, 2013 to 2019. Few shows changed queer representation on television like Orange is the New Black. Set inside a women's prison, the series features multiple lesbian, bisexual, and queer characters with deeply emotional storylines. Instead of reducing characters to stereotypes, the show gives each woman her own struggles, trauma, dreams, and humanity. From Piper and Alex's chaotic romance to Poosie's heartbreaking journey, the emotional impact of this show is massive. Why you should watch. One of the most important queer TV dramas ever made, filled with unforgettable characters and emotional storytelling. From emotional detective stories to intense psychological thrillers, these lesbian crime series prove that queer storytelling can be powerful, exciting, and unforgettable. Whether you love murder mysteries, spy dramas, supernatural chaos, or slow-burn sapphic romance, there's definitely something here worth binging. And honestly, once you start watching some of these shows, it's very hard to stop.